They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet. Gonna educate your palate right here in Farmer's Kitchen. In Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Harvest Energy Solutions, Harvest Cabins, when you absolutely have to get away. The City of Stanford, Kentucky. Come back home to Stanford. Woods Equipment Company has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it. Good Foods Co-op, Marksbury Farm Market, Weisenberger Mill, your village shop.
Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen and Nikki's Country Kitchen. When we started this show, we started here.
That's right.
3 years ago.
It's hard to believe.
That's hard to believe that. Back then, you weren't even sure you wanted to be on the show. You weren't talking that much. We were trying to get you to talk. Now we're good. Now you see the true Nikki.
I was just cleanup committee. Now I help you, plus I clean. That's great.
Well, you know what? Our show has come a long way. But if you do see us inside here, right where we are today, there's a reason behind it. It's either blistering hot or blistering cold. Today, it's blistering hot.
It is.
Now, we're about a week behind now that we're back into our new season. So when you see this, you'll remember last week was really, really, really hot. Usually when I'm in a dove field, it's hot.
Yeah.
And that's held true. By the time this airs, it's supposed to cool down, though.
Nice. I'm ready.
I'm ready for fall. You know what? I started thinking the other day about some of the things, experiences you and I have shared and things that we've talked about. We talk about things from our childhood, things we remember in school. We had similar experiences, even though you were in school in Michigan and I was here. In elementary school, what happened at Christmas? The things that we've talked about. What would they do in the gym? You'd pay a quarter for.
Oh, go up movies.
What kind of movies?
Cartoons, and what did you have?
You know what? They would roll out these movies that were Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton.
You got popcorn.
You got popcorn? It was like a quarter.
Right.
But I would watch my teachers just die laughing when they saw Laurel and Hardy. That was their childhood. They wanted to share that with us.
Right.
So you think about our grandparents in 1915, what they were doing. They were watching Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton and all these fun things. But then they would go home, and guess what they had to do? They had to work their tails off. I've heard so many of my older relatives talk about being attached to a plow.
Right.
Going out to the field with a plow and hooking up to a mule team or some horses. I'm sure your grandfather, Calacarinas,
right, he was hard
farmed
working.
like that. The things that we do, the shows that we do, are protecting and thinking about our traditions and sharing those with other folks. Now, this goes back before us, but I saw this as a kid. Let's talk about the plow horse.
Okay.
What a beautiful picture in our minds of our youth and of our past. We were at the Foxfire Festival last weekend. Take a look at this. Marty Bilderback. Cool
nice to meet you,
stuff
Tim.
going on here today. You know what? I have never witnessed this. At one point in time, everybody in these parts witnessed that and was hooked up to a team. Tell us how this whole thing got started and what it is.
Well, this is the 11th annual United States Plowing Contest. And it has formally, up until this year, has been held in Dayton, Ohio.
But let's talk about the horses, the teams, and the people. First of all, This was part of everyday procedure for back in the day. When did this stop? When did the tractors put these guys out of business?
We used to, I know when I was a young child, I remembered my neighbor farmers where I grew up had teams of horses and mules that they worked with. But they were the last holdouts, and that was in the 50s. So really World War II is the one that put the horse out of business as far as a farm animal. We have had 17 teams competing today, and they're from 5 different states. They're far away as Maryland and West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio. And they have been in about 5 different categories. They go 2-horse sulkies, 3-horse sulkies, the gang plow, which had the 7 horses hooked up to it.
Let's talk about how the contest works. If it's a competition, then how do you line up? How does it start?
They draw their lot. They're going to plow. It's not a timed event. It's a perfection event. So they're judged on 10 different categories, such things as how straight and sharp and vertical the sides are, and then how flat the bottom is, and then how well you cover it, and what percentage of your 25 by 100 foot plot is covered, totally plowed, and what got left unplowed, things like that. So they have like 10 different categories, and then they're judged by 3 judges, and that's tabulated up, and we'll have a winner in those 5 classes and an overall high point winner.
These people love these animals like I've never seen such a connection.
They're family, and there's no prize money. It's coming for the sheer joy of it, right. And it's a wonderful group of people to work with, and they're the Kentuckians in it, and those from out of state that we were able to host. We had a great time.
These horses are so spoiled and so special. I think they like it. They like what they like their job.
Oh, they do their job well, and they definitely like their job. Yeah. And they're well-trained animals.
Right.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Hope to see it again.
Come right back.
All righty. Thank you. Harold, what do you do around here?
Well, I got 2 jobs.
All right.
I work at Asbury University. I'm the equine director, and I'm mayor of the city of Wilmore.
And what do you do in your spare time?
Married 51 years to that pretty little thing in the truck.
And there you go. You know what? Why is something like this important to the community, important to the students?
Well, it gives our students an opportunity to run an event or be a part of an event. We have a class called Equine Ministry, and they all have to do something related to ministry, whether that's cleaning up the poop after a horse, or taking water to somebody, or working the gates, or just helping out. We're a Christian liberal arts school, and it's not like wearing a big cross around the neck and saying, look what Jesus did for me, is go do something. So our ministry is our legs, our hands, our feet, and actually serving people. So we do a lot of things with horses, but this is a big part of it because this is a United States Plow Horse Championship contest. So it gives our kids an opportunity to meet people in a different breed, using horses in a different way, sort of a throwback to what it would have been 100 years ago. And most of them have never seen a plow horse. They don't know what a plow horse is. And they don't know the majestic horse that we're dealing with. Most of them just ride. So they've not seen horses that you drive. So that's what makes this really unique, is to do something that's sort of out of their comfort zone, something they haven't done before.
It's hard to believe that much dirt right there can be moved.
My grandfather did this very same thing. He was a farrier. And so I was watching these mares down here that had the babies, and my dad told me they always had mare workhorses, so they'd have a little baby every year, and the babies would learn to go right along beside the mothers. And so that was another crop for them the next year, the next year, the next year. So you always had these babies coming on to replace, but that was their tractor, that was their livelihood. And so these folks are preserving what we're losing, and many of our folks don't get that opportunity. So
this so suits our show. We're at preserving food heritage, how to can, how to garden. This fits so into what we're trying to show people. The traditions, the things that we had to do hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And guess what? They're getting it done.
It still works.
Thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you all for coming to Wilmore.
Good to be here. Is that not beautiful to see those horses work together like that?
That was neat.
Turning that ground over, that strength of that animal, the ability of that animal to understand the commands and do exactly what those people love those horses.
Maybe I need a horse. No? You could plow
You've
with it.
got a horse. They got a really long neck
Okay, I got two
and a
of them.
mop on their head. Yeah,
Okay.
you got your horse.
Two little horses.
You know what? When we returned from our vacation, we saw people using pineapple, and we had everything there was vibrant and
Right.
wonderful, the flavors. We're going to make a sweet and sour chicken. I made it while we were over there. We
So
talked to some
good.
folks. It was so good, but so easy.
Right.
Now you think about sweet and sour, and you think it has to be that orange, bright orange, red sauce. No.
You made homemade.
That's what I'm talking about. So here's what we're going to do. This is a simple recipe. Most of you will have all of these ingredients
It
in
was
your
delish.
kitchen. Oh,
Delish.
it's delicious. First thing I did, chicken thighs.
The best.
Why?
They're just the tenderest. I like the dark meat, and they just taste better, don't you think?
The flavors are vibrant. Some
Right.
people consider that dark meat. But you know what? A breast a lot of times will dry out.
Right. That's our favorite.
That is my favorite piece of chicken. You may not agree with me, but we absolutely
Right.
love our thighs. I always leave the skin on because of the taste, and I heard it's good for you.
I'm sure it is real good for you.
All right. We put that in the oven at 325 for about 2 hours. Now we're going to cook it a little bit more later, but this is something that, and we had stuff laying around and we just kind of put everything in there. Here's how we're going to do this. Let's get us a saucepan. Why don't you grate me a little bit of ginger here? We've already cut it and peeled it. I like that grate, by the way.
I do too. Grandma got us that.
We're going to do, I don't know, half a teaspoon of that. All right, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to take about a half a cup pineapple juice,
Yum.
a quarter cup brown sugar, then about a half a cup of water. I'll tell you what else we did. We poured off some broth from our chicken, put a little bit of that in there. Then I'm going to take your ginger that you ground up so beautifully.
Thank you.
Now, our soy sauce, which is in a Elvis shot glass, we're going to do exactly 1.5 tablespoons of that. We're going to take 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar if you'd like. Once this gets going, we're gonna cook this down a little bit, and then right at the very end, and once that starts to get nice and thick, we're going to thicken it up a little bit more with 2.5 teaspoons of cornstarch to 2.5 tablespoons of water. Now, let's get that going. If you will, mix my cornstarch mixture up, and I'm going to
Alrighty.
set this on the stove and get it going. I'm going to tell you about a phone call we got here in a little while.
Oh, are you?
About dinner and supper.
Really?
Wow.
I like dinner and supper.
We get some doozies. Now, one thing about this chicken I forgot to mention, it's very important. If you don't have some of this in your house, get it. It's sesame oil. What a beautiful flavor that
good.
brings to chicken when you put that on the hide of that bird. We put just a little bit, we just rub some on the top. Then I put some garlic powder on there, a little bit of pepper.
I could eat it now.
Oh yeah, that's already sunk into there. All right, let's cut some of these into small strips.
Okay.
We've already taken one pineapple and cut it up. Oh man, I just remember how good this is. We're going to cut our onions in long strips too, in pieces. All right, now what's dinner and what's supper?
I don't know. I thought about the same. I wouldn't know the difference.
Well, you know, there's a lot of controversy over that. You know,
Okay.
some people think dinner's lunchtime, so on and so forth. I did some research. I'm holding off. I'm not going to tell you yet. I found out some pretty interesting stuff, though, because there's arguments all across the world about dinner and supper. Now, that in itself is beautiful. Let's look at those colors.
Looks
and with
good.
the pineapple, oh, it's going to be good.
You want some cauliflower?
Yep.
So just little pieces.
And we're just going to do, I don't know, if I had to guess, about a cup, maybe less.
Of the cauliflower.
I'm not going real heavy on the cauliflower. What I'm going to do now, it's really pretty easy, is we're going to take this stuff and strategically place it over the top of this chicken. We're going to pour our sauce, once we thicken that up, on top of that. So let's go thicken our sauce up and get it ready. All right, now we're just going to space this stuff out over here. Look at the colors.
Yummy.
Pretty, 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 pretty. And we're not going to cook it to death. The chicken's already cooked. I
That's
just want
mine
this.
too.
Yeah, I just want this to cook up a little bit. I want to have still a little crunch in my vegetables. I'm going to pour my sauce over top of that, and we're going to go to town. Pineapple. Look at that. Does that look beautiful?
Looks beautiful.
Or what? Pop that in just, I don't know, 15 minutes and let it get just a little bit cooked. And we'll show you something good. Banana pudding. Who doesn't love banana pudding? But the cookies, they tend to get soggy. How do you prevent that? You make a
banana pudding dip.
A banana pudding what?
Dip.
What a novel idea.
Yeah.
We
Actually,
can't claim it. Kelly found it
That's right.
online somewhere. But you know what? We took our little twist and put some butterscotch.
you always have a good
morsels in it.
twist. You had a good
I'm
twist.
telling you what. And we haven't determined how much we put in there, but we put quite a few.
Right. And you just sit and dip it and eat it, and you don't gain a pound.
And you know, I like it so much that I've gone from the cookie to the graham cracker.
Wow.
Why? Because you can get more on it, and you can.
You can't have this till after dinner, though. You know. This is you have to wait and eat your dinner first.
All right, how do you get this thing started?
It's pretty simple.
I can't take it more.
You can't take it more, and it's all just sugary good stuff. So we're gonna start, and we actually I cheated with our whipping cream we just got. We bought it already done, but we could have beat it up ourselves, and I've done that before too. But we're going quick. So I have got some instant pudding here. So it's
Vanilla?
gonna be vanilla, and we're gonna use about half of this. It's all we don't need that much of it, and you'll have extra for you to eat. And mix it with a cup of milk. And this will actually, we're going to whisk it for a couple minutes, and it'll actually be set up by the time we need it. The package, it tells you for 2 minutes to just whisk it, so. Whisk
it good.
Whisk it good. And this will harden up as we set it aside. I think it's pretty good. We'll just set this aside. Now we're going to take 2 bananas, and you, I guess, are the expert banana peeler.
You know what they say to peel them from this end?
Really?
Just like that.
Wow.
See there? And it gets gets the strings. All my life, they've been telling us to do it the wrong way.
Why is that? I need one more,
You
too.
notice all the strings stayed with it that
No,
way?
you're right. I've never done it that way.
Watch a monkey. He'll do it the other way over.
Wow. You're right. Monkeys do it that way,
do
don't
it
they?
that way. They know.
You notice we were just at the zoo too. That's where you learned. If you want to mash those up for a little for me, mash
the
them.
bananas.
And I'm going to get a little bit of a fresh lemon.
Are we having dinner or supper?
I don't know. I thought it was the same thing, to be honest with you. I didn't know there was a difference.
Are we having?
Let me give you a little lemon juice in there.
All right.
And I love these little old antique lemonies. What do you think? Look good? All right, go ahead and mash those up. And that's supposed to keep your bananas from turning brown too, isn't it? With a little bit of juice. All right. Well, that's it.
Oh, it smells good.
We'll put that aside now. You're going to do the work. Get your bowl.
All right.
Put it right over here. And we're going to start out with cream cheese. You can't go wrong with cream cheese.
So one block of cream cheese.
And I've let this set out, get room temperature.
Okay.
And I also have a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar.
All right.
Be cautious.
I'm sure that
All right, you can stop. That's good. You kind of got it mixed. Now we are going to add 1/2 cup of condensed milk, which is always good. Remember we had this in our peanut butter pie. You can't go wrong with it.
I miss the grandbabies, don't you?
I do. They would love making this. They would be really good at helping us eat this.
Sweetened condensed milk, confectioner's sugar, and cream cheese.
So far.
No calories. Again.
And stop again. Now I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of whipped cream.
Oh, you wouldn't.
Yeah, isn't that terrible?
Oh, look at that.
Look good?
That's creamy.
Let me add some bananas.
Roll it.
What do you think?
There comes the
Sound good?
health food. Maybe this will be the last hot spell. I can't wait to get out there. You know, people, everywhere we go, do some more Dutch oven cooking. Okay, we will. We love
When it
that.
goes down. Look at the pudding. See how it's already getting
Oh,
thick?
the pudding's ready to go.
All right, we need about 1 cup of that. So that looks like about 1 cup right there.
I'll take care of the rest of that later.
All right. That looks good, actually.
That's good?
That looks good. Now,
That's all?
your secret ingredient that you want to add.
Yeah.
We're going to just kind of fold
And this
those
is
in.
entirely up to you.
However, do you think, how many do you think you
I
need?
think we need this many.
You think?
Oh, you smell that combined with that?
Smells good. And we're going to let this sit in the fridge for a couple hours and kind of harden up a little bit while we're waiting for our dinner. See how this is kind of runny still, though? It's going to get nice and thick for you, too.
Gotta let her sit up. All right, sounds good.
Delicious.
You smell that?
Smells really good.
It's so easy and so delicious.
Yes, it
You know,
is.
that's what we try to do. Nothing we do is really complicated. There's not any long wait times. That's sitting there for maybe 15 minutes, just enough. Let's just quit talking about it.
Can we
and
have
grab
it?
Oh, yeah, let's just grab it out.
That looks and smells delicious.
Now, that's a pretty dish.
Wow.
And when we plate it, it's going to look even nicer. So there's our beautiful dish right now.
Yum.
In a minute, we're going to plate it, put a little red pepper flakes on it, and it will be pure beauty.
Yum.
Just like you.
Oh, that is so sweet.
I'm blushing. You would think if we had vanilla wafers and graham crackers that we'd be pulled in this direction, but I'm pulled over here. Look at that. Is that pretty?
I can't take it more. I can't take it more.
Okay, Taryn, our granddaughter is such a hoot. Look at here. Now, I'll tell you what. Again, cook that until that chicken's falling off the bone, and you can taste that sesame oil in there too.
I made a little side of rice. It's so perfect with it.
Is that dinner or supper?
Both. What is it? What's the
Let
difference?
me tell you what happened. Now, people do things their own way. Now, we don't tell anybody that our way is the only way, because if you want to call it dinner or supper, or if you want to call it
I want that.
you can call it that, and we'll back you up 1,000%. But get a call the other day, and this guy says, "Mr. Farmer." No, he says, "Tim Farmer," and I felt like I was going to be called the office. I knew I was in trouble.
Okay.
But I didn't know what for. And believe me, I've been to the office before when I was a kid. Tim Farmer, I have something for you that you need to hear. Dinner is 12 o'clock.
So dinner is at 12?
Period.
Okay.
Supper is at 5 o'clock. You need to know this.
Really?
Oh, and he was very stern.
When's
and very...
lunch? When's breakfast?
So, you know me. I'm like, I saw on the show somewhere I must have called what he thought dinner was supper, supper, dinner. Okay. You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's food news, food education tonight on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Several sources. I checked them because I'm curious. What is dinner? What is supper? Most people around here call dinner lunch, supper your last meal.
Okay.
Dinner. This is by several sources. This is from the dictionary.com and several places. Dinner is the main meal of the day served either in the evening or at midday.
Really?
So if you call your last meal dinner or your middle meal dinner, it's dinner. If you dig in a little deeper, supper is after 10 o'clock. Like the little snack you have before you go to bed, like a light meal.
Oh, really? So
that's if you want to get really
wow.
technical. Now, I'm going to call it dinner sometimes. I'm going to call it supper sometimes because I've heard both. So there's really no wrong way. But if you want to get right down to it, dinner is the main meal of the day, whether it's in the middle or at the end.
How about we just eat? I mean, I like dinner.
What are we eating?
I like it for breakfast.
We have to figure out what we're eating.
Oh.
Is it dinner or is it supper?
This is dinner. Well, supper means
It's our main meal of the day.
We can eat again later.
This is our main meal of the day. So this is dinner. Let's dig in. Oh, Nikki, what do you got?
See how it's set up? Look at. Now I think let's make it pretty though. Before you dig in, let me make it pretty. Look at. You know, we could actually put some more of those little chips on top too, but.
Oh, we could?
You know what? And that look cute.
We probably should.
Because we could make this our own. Because that's.
I'm telling you what, butterscotch and banana pudding. I don't know if anybody else does that or not, but let me tell you what.
That's too pretty to eat.
It adds a little something.
I'm not going to let you eat this. It's like you always tell the girls, you can't
You know
eat
what else
this.
you could put in here?
What?
Chocolate chips.
Oh yeah. Beautiful. Let's just look at it. Let's not eat it.
Let's look at it. Now I'm gonna take a big old honking graham cracker.
I'm gonna try it. Cookie.
Look how these dip. Look how deep you can go there.
That's so good. I can double dip. That's delicious.
Good job.
Thank you.
Is this stuff on?
Kelly. It was Kelly helped me with that.
There are no rules. It's dinner, it's supper, it's breakfast, it's
I like that.
it's whatever you want it to be. It's your kitchen. We had somebody get mad at us one time because we put sugar in soup.
You got it.
My French chef, buddy, he used to keep sugar in his pocket. And that would be his last ending thing. He'd have salt on one side. He really would.
Really?
And that was his secret. You know another secret?
What?
We have a Facebook page. Oh. And we welcome you to like it. Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Get on there, see where we're going, what we're doing. TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com. All our shows are on there. Recipes. And you know what? We've been off for a couple weeks, taking a break. We're back with the new season. We got brand new stuff. Please cool down so we can go outside.
Yeah, be back out.
We got some stuff to do on the patio. We got some big green egg stuff coming up very shortly. Back up on the hill to the cabin, the harvest cabin. We're going to be doing some fine outdoor cooking and back in the kitchen. That's actually my favorite time to be cooking ribs and stuff in the fall. When you have those brown leaves on the ground and you smell that smell in the crisp evenings and you smell barbecue coming out of that thing.
You can have a fire.
That's what I'm
yeah.
talking about, a little bit of heaven. But it's come that time of the show again, where we want to thank you for hanging out with us in our kitchen. It's all about
Good times
good friends.
and good eats.
How about we chow?
Let's eat.
To order a cookbook or DVD of the show, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com. Special thanks to Furniture World Superstore, Housewarmings, Tater Knob Pottery and Farm. Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office. Try something different tonight. L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Diamond Gusset Jeans. The original Gusset Jean. Careful craftsmanship. Continual improvement. Diamond Gusset Jeans. Born and worn in the USA since 1987.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, how's the college visit?
You remembered. It's good.
Does it make the short list?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Knowing our clients personally is what we do.
It's okay. This is what we've been planning for.
And with over 13,000 financial advisors, we do it a lot. It's why Edward Jones is the big company that doesn't act that way.